Welcome to the very first episode of Formity Privacy Pulse, the podcast where we break down global data privacy trends, explore real-world risks, and provide practical steps for professionals and businesses to take control of their compliance journey. I am Sarah Lim, Global Consultant and Senior Service Product Owner at Formity Data International. Whether you are a data privacy expert or a leader in HR, IT, marketing, or operations, this show is for you. Our goal? To help you better understand why data privacy is not just a legal issue. It is a strategic business concern that touches every part of your organization. In today's episode, we are sounding the alarm. Why does data privacy matter more than ever? We will explore how the landscape has changed, how new risks are appearing, and what you can do right now to strengthen your organization's privacy posture. So, let us start by looking at the bigger picture, how the data privacy landscape has shifted, and what that means for organizations today. Let us start with a big picture view. Over the past 8 years, we have seen a dramatic expansion in data privacy regulations across the globe. The EU's GDPR set the gold standard back in 2018, and since then, we have seen Thailand PDPA, California's CPRA, Brazil's LGPD, and more recently, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia, and China tightening their own frameworks. But this wave of regulation is only part of the story. The reality is, data privacy has become a board-level concern. Shareholders are asking about it. Regulators are enforcing it. Consumers are expecting it. And now we are seeing a third wave of pressure from business insurers. If you want cyber insurance or business interruption cover, underwriters are now demanding proof of your data governance. They are looking at your privacy policy, your breach response plan, your third-party contracts. And if you do not have those in place, it could affect your ability to get your business covered or raise your premiums significantly. Let's bring this home with a recent example, the Marks & Spencer cyber attack in April 2025. This wasn't a failure of Marks & Spencer internal systems. It stemmed from a breach of a third-party contractor. A hacking group known as Scattered Spider used social engineering to infiltrate the contractor's systems, which ultimately exposed sensitive customer data like names, addresses, and order histories. Although financial data wasn't accessed, the damage was done. Online ordering had to be suspended, regulatory authorities were notified, and media coverage put the spotlight on how vulnerable even proven brands can be. Now here's the key takeaway. Cyber insurers are watching. Incidents like this often trigger investigations into whether sufficient controls were in place. If not, the result can be insurance exclusions, increased premiums, or even denied claims. Cyber liability insurers are asking tough questions during onboarding. Do you have breach response plans? Do you regularly assess third-party risk? Is your workforce trained on phishing and data handling? These aren't just best practices anymore, they're financial prerequisites. So where do we go from here? The companies thriving in this pristine environment are the ones that see privacy as more than compliance. They see it as a strategic advantage. They embed privacy into product development. They make data protection part of employee onboarding. They treat vendors like data processors, not just suppliers. And they keep up to date and correct documentation to prove it all. And here's something large numbers of organizations overlook. Everyday operations tend to focus heavily on customer data, but employee data is often just as sensitive and often just as vulnerable. Think salary information, health records, bank details, disciplinary history, national IDs, all highly valuable to threat actors. Ignoring employee data privacy opens the door to insider threats, phishing, impersonation, and reputational harm. Leading organizations recognize this and apply the same privacy rigor to internal HR systems, payroll processors, and employee-facing apps as they do to customer platforms. This leads to something crucial: trust. Customers trust them. Partners want to do business with them. Employees feel protected. Investors have confidence in them. And insurers are more willing to provide cover at competitive rates. That's why privacy should never be seen as a cost center or an operational debt. It's an enabler of resilience, reputation, and long-term growth. If you're wondering how to start or improve your organization's privacy posture, here are 5 concrete steps you can take right now. 1. Appoint a privacy lead or outsourced DPO. Whether internal or outsourced, appoint a qualified individual or partner to take responsibility for overseeing your data protection program. A data protection officer, DPO, ensures accountability, monitors compliance, and acts as the liaison with regulators and data subjects. 2. Map your data flows. Go beyond simply showing what data you collect. You must understand how personal data flows through your organization, from entry via forms, apps, call centers, through processing via internal systems, third-party vendors, to exit or deletion. This full data lifecycle mapping is critical for DPIAs, breach response, and vendor assessments. 3. Develop and maintain key policies. Ensure you have up-to-date policies and procedures in place for the following: Data Protection Impact Assessments, DPIAs, Legitimate Interest Assessments, LIAs, Data Subject Access Requests, DSARs, Data Breach Response and Notification. These are essential, not just for compliance, but to prove governance in case of a regulatory inquiry or insurance claim. 4. Strengthen your contracts. Review and update your legal agreements to include the correct privacy and security clauses. This includes data processing agreements, DPAs, with data processors, vendors, data sharing agreements with joint controllers or partners, AI-specific clauses where artificial intelligence is part of the processing activity. Make sure your contracts reflect evolving legal obligations, especially under the EU AI Act and the UK's AI White Paper, both of which emphasize transparency, accountability, and human oversight. 5. Evidence your controls. Regulators and insurers won't just take your word for it. Keep documented evidence of privacy training, completed DPIAs, data breach logs, whether reportable and non-reportable, audit reports, and contract reviews. This documentation can mean the difference between a smooth investigation and a costly enforcement action. And if your internal team lacks time, resource allocation, or ability, don't delay. Consider engaging a partner. At Formidi, we support businesses globally with outsourced DPO services, AI governance support, contract redlining, and bespoke, robust compliance frameworks tailored to your specific sector. That's it for our very first episode of Formidi Privacy Pulse. I hope you found this discussion both eye-opening and empowering. In our next episode, we'll be unpacking Data Subject Access Requests, or DSARs, what they are, why timelines matter, and how mishandling them can lead to enforcement action and brand damage. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a rating, and share it with a colleague who might benefit. You can find more insights and privacy resources at formidi.com or contact us directly at pulse@formidi.com. Thanks for joining, and remember, privacy isn't simply good practice, it's good business.